Welcome back to part 4 of the budget bandit build. I'm in my garage, full of old shite, TR1000, paint station, all manner of crap up in the loft there, bike bits. I've just been up there looking for stuff. I found a box, and inside the box there appears to be 2 sets of carburetors. Happy days. I'll have to see what they're off. Might be able to use one of them. I also found some bars. I know I was going to use the Busa master cylinders, but I found these that I'd completely forgotten about. They're 916 masters, so I might use them. I'll have to check the sizing of them, see if they'll actually work with the Bandit brakes, etc. But they look quite cool. Quite like them. Might just use them. I think they look a bit better than the Hayabusa ones. And I found a rake of handlebars to select from. I'm kind of airing towards these silver ones here, but we'll see. I've also got a set of fat bars, but it'd mean I'd have to drill out the risers to fit. Might do that. We'll see how easy the risers are to come off. I haven't even looked at it yet. So I'm just away to delve into this side of the garage. There's a load of crap up there. I'll see what I can find. I'll be back. Found for fuck's sake. Take 2. Found a box of old electrical stuff. I think it's mostly GSX. Yeah, mostly GSX. There's a stator in there. Found a set of gaskets. 2 GSX11, 1 GSXR. In here, casing to the sounds of it. Plenty of wiring though. I think this is up a GSX. Don't think I'll be able to use any of that. So I did find some coils, but they're old GSX11 ones, and somebody's cut wires off them before I got them, obviously, because I would never do something like that. But they do kind of look like they've seen better days, to be fair. That one's cut just about at the flipping coil, so that'd be fun to join, wouldn't it? Anyway, we'll scrap that. Nothing in there. I did find some powder coated casings up top I've forgotten about. I've got so much shit I forget what I've got. I found some fancy casings, some billet Yoshi ones and stuff. You might find where we want the Bandit, we'll see. In the meantime, I'm going to check out if these master cylinders will suit the Bandit calipers. Hopefully they will. But also got a can here I could use, I guess. Not too bad, but I think the cut down acrylic will do it. MP mudguard, discs, cylinder heads, seat units, all manner of shit. So seriously need to have a read up out here. I've got more crap than I know what to do with. There's also a load of stuff under these benches. Cylinder heads, barrels, plastics. Don't know what's in there. Oh, just boxes of shit from years gone by. I never throw anything out, you see, that's my problem. But the problem is, because I never throw anything out, it takes me ages to find anything. There's a big block set of cylinders in there, 1340. I've got the pistons for it up top. There's another cylinder head in there, and down the bottom I think there's another 2 cylinder heads. One of them's been flowed and tuned, the big valves and all the rest of it. There's another one up top of the bench there under all the shit. Oh, me! Too much stuff, man. Need to get rid. Right, onto the Bandit. Whilst I'm waiting for bits to arrive, I'm going to paint this engine if we get a decent day. We're currently in the middle of some bloody storm up in the north of Scotland here, so it's not exactly, as you can see, it's a little bit on the windy side for painting. Right, so I'm going to prep this down for paint. Shut the door, keep the wind noise out. I prep this for paint, Go over it with thinners, go over it with a Scotch-Brite. Before you do all that, degrease it and mask up all the holes where water could get into, including that cam cover bolt that's missing. So mask up all your holes, all your intakes, outtakes, starter motor, and get in down the side there, and degrease everything thoroughly. Underneath as well, take the sump off if you like. Then get your green Scotch-Brite and some thinners. Wash it all down with thinners with your Scotch-Brite. Then wash it all down again once it's dried with a grey Scotch-Brite and some wax and grease remover. This is the stuff I use. Does the trick, very good. Then once you've got all the grease off it, all the dirt off it, and it's clean and spotless, it has to be spotless, then it's time to paint. Obviously I'll be taking the cam links off and the cam cover, masking all that up as well. You basically want to mask everything that you don't want painted, okay? And then I'm going to hit it with epoxy primer, and then I'm just going straight into 2-pack black. Then it will get clear coated. I want the engine to be gloss. The frame, I'm thinking of doing it a satin or a matte, to be honest, because with the colours I'm putting on, it'll really stand out and it'll look pretty epic in my book. So that's the plan. So if the weather dries up any, I'll pull this outside and get it sanded down, ready for painting. Another one you can do is get in amongst all the fins, in between the fins, get all the crap out of there. This one's got a few broken fins in the front, I noticed the other day. But you need to get in about all the fins, round the front beside the oil pipes. There's like oil drain pipes. You need to get right in about them, or you'll end up with paint just falling off, basically. You don't want that. You want it to look good, and you don't want to be doing it again for at least another 10 years. So that's how you'll prep it, okay? So if the weather improves, I'll get prepping. Here's one I did earlier. This is my Harris. I prepped it all the same way as I was describing, and I painted it in black, as you can see. Turned out quite well. You know, it's covered in dust at the minute, but the finish on it's miles better than it was. If you'd seen it before I started, it was actually worse than the Bandit one is just now. So this is the sort of result we can expect, hopefully. Do the casings separately. Always do a better job, and don't do the inside of the casings, because you don't want paint flaking off into your oil. Just checking out what these carburetors are. I've opened the box, and the first set are out of my EFE GSX 1100 EFE, so they're no use for anything. The second set, however, I think I may have struck gold because I had a feel of them, and it felt like there's filters on them, and there's definitely filters on them. K&N's with the looks of it, so that might... Oh, they've even got intakes on them. Oh my god. I truly am spoilt. So, set of carburetors. GSX R1100, obviously, with a, well, decent enough set of K&N's on them. Again, I'd completely forgotten I had these. They're maybe off of one of my GSXRs out in the shed. I'll have to go and check first before I go taking the filters off them or whatever, but I might just use them in the meantime. They look to be in reasonably good nick. Pull choke, none of that crap up in the handlebars, so these might get used. I'll have a look inside, see if they've been jetted. In fact, I don't know, you'd have to look on the other side, wouldn't you? Let's get a wee look, see if we can see anything through there. Can't really tell if the needles are Dynajet or not from there. You'd have to take them out, I guess. So that's my next job. I'll have a cup of coffee, take them out, see if it's been Dynajetted. I'd imagine it will have been Dynajetted if it's got the K&N's on it, because that's what I used to do. So hopefully there's a set of nice Dynajet kit in there, stage 3. They might get used in the Bandit, one of the Bandits. We shall see. But I'm not short of carbs, so that's good. I've got another set of Mark II Bandit carbs. Hold on. So I've got this set of Mark II Bandit carbs. I just put cling film on them because one of the heaters is falling out the bottom. I didn't want to lose it. That one there should look like that. I've never run these heated carbs, and people have said they're a bit of a pain in the arse to set up, but I'm not sure. Never set them up myself, so I've got them as well. And else we're talking carbs, got our 2 sets of Tin Top 34s, I believe, from a GSX 1100F. And then here, this little bag, we've got another set of GSXR carbs. So I'm definitely going to have a set of carbs that will work on the Bandit. I think it's safe to say. This is my front end of the Bandit. I showed you it before. Like I say, it looks like these are cast into the top yoke. They might be a bit of a pain in the arse to enlarge for fat bars, so I'll maybe just end up using the rentals. And this was my other front end that I contemplated using, but I think it's going to be slightly too short. It's up a GSXR 750. What I do like about it is these calipers. The Nissans, my ZX6, great brakes, I must admit. Set of grips that I bought for the Bandit. And also got these levers, master cylinder, should I say, for China Land, AliExpress. My mate's used them for a couple of years and he says they're no problem at all. So, you know, I'm a bit wary about them, to be honest. So that's that. So no shortage of carbs. Just checking these carbs out. It's looking good so far. I've taken off the float bowls, checked the mains are 144 Dynajets. So hopefully, when I lift this, yeah, it tries not to stick to the top. Oh shit, there's an O-ring missing, is there? There is an O-ring missing. Where the hell did that go? Anyway, when I take these slides out, we should be able to see if they are Dynajet or not. And they are. You can see by the taper of them. See the bottom of that needle jet goes thinner. And there'll also be a plug in the bottom of the slide. Yep. Put that in to reduce the airflow, I presume. So that's good. Dynajet carbs, happy days. However, not so. Just as well I checked them because that flipping rubber O-ring missing would have caused problems. So I'll check the rest of the tops as well. I also need to change the float bowl screws because most of them are rounded off, which is a bit of a pain in the arse, but I'll get them out. You see this screwdriver here is a GIS one. This is what you actually should use on Japanese bikes. Don't use a Phillips, you know. Use the proper thing for the screws. The screws are GIS. The screws aren't Phillips. It's got a slightly different head on it, and you'll notice as soon as you use it that they connect so much better into the screw heads. So if you don't have one, get yourself a set of them. They're not dear, and they'll save you from having chewed up bloody screw heads. So, like I say, I'll check the rest of these. Check there's all the O-rings are in there. If they aren't, I'll have to order some. Because obviously I'll be using these carbs at some point, and they'll just go up in price. So I'll do that, check the rest of them out, and just make sure they're okay. Like I say, they might get used in the Bandit, they might not. I think the Mark II Bandit ones I've got are in a slightly better nick, to be fair. If anybody knows about the heated circuit, if it does anything, or if I can just plug it, if you could let me know in the comments down below, I'd appreciate it. Cheers. So I'm just reseating this head gasket. Had it off to do the valves today, and like I say, see this stuff here, it just fucking annoys me. People putting RTV into stuff that doesn't need it. I mean, where do they expect this to go into your engine? You know what I mean? It's not going to do any good, is it? Let's be honest. I've got as much of it as I can off, but there's still a few bits and pieces stuck to the sides, as you can see, but it's on the outside. All the insides have been cleared off as best they can be, but I mean, just why? Leave these things alone. Whilst I'm in a moan, zone. Anybody care to tell me why folk do stupid shit like this by cutting off fucking connectors? This one's from the ignition. Why oh why? Gets my fucking tits. Right, we're going to put a new diaphragm into this old fuel tap. I'll also clean it up because, as you can see, it's been sitting in a container for God knows how long. I'll need a new seal for it as well because you can see it's peeled the paint off of this bit. Might get away with reusing it, but I think there's a seal in the kit. If there's a seal in the kit, I'll use it. Right, I've already started by slackening off a few screws and whatnot. You also need to get yourself a tub, put all the screws in there, and that way when it comes back to rebuilding it, you won't go off your head trying to find out where that tiny little screw's going to. Okay, so for a kick-off, you'll need a JIS screwdriver with a proper head on it, like this. And then you go into the end of the fuel cap, tap even, and unscrew the screw. I've already unscrewed it, it's that long one in there. When you've done that, this will come off. I've also slackened off these screws at the bottom, and as you can see, this needs to come out. Look at the corrosion on there, that's needing a good clean with a bit of a green Scotch pad or something along that lines, because that's not going to do any good. I mean, it's just crumbling in my hands, like. Yeah, so you need to give that a clean. I think there's a rubber, possibly. No, there's a shim there. As you take this part off, see that little shim that's in the bottom there? Don't lose that. And give that a clean. Once you get that off, you have in here a very alarmed looking gentleman. Looks like a rubber. You need to take that out. And we shall do that if I can get it. I'll do it off camera. And then you also need to unscrew the back of this. I'll do that in camera also. There's a very small spring in the back of here, so when you unscrew these, make sure to keep your finger over it before that comes off, or the spring will disappear and you'll never find it again probably. I'll do that and then I'll come back. You can see a bit of corrosion there at the bottom of that brass tube. This is where your fuel level goes to. Once it gets to the bottom of this tube here, it goes on to reserve, at which point it goes through that second hole. There should be another filter on there, I'm pretty sure. I might have to buy another one because you really don't want any crap from your petrol tank coming into your carbs. It'll block your pilot jets and all sorts. It's a nightmare. Right, I'll get this cover off and I'll get that rubber seal out, and I'll come back and speak to you in a minute. That's the rubber seal out, this one here, and there is a rubber seal that goes on the end of here. It was stuck in the hole in the petrol tap, should I say, but I've stuck it on there temporarily. We'll be replacing it obviously, and then we're taking this part off, and this holds the diaphragm. Okay, you can see there's a bit of corrosion and whatnot in there. It's not too bad, to be fair. And this here is your diaphragm. It locates into these little white pegs. See the peg just above my thumb? There should be another one down here. Two little holes, that small hole above my thumb and that small hole just above my thumb. These pegs go onto that to locate it. Either that or you'll have leaks. Now, this is a really delicate thing, this seal, so you need to be careful when you take it out. This white spacer plate, there's the other side of the spacer plate. In fact, I'll just take it apart and show you. The other side of the spacer plate also has a rubber on it. You can see there, it's got a circular disc as well. Now, there's a spring here. Don't lose the spring, whatever you do. There might be a replacement in the pack. I've not even opened it yet, but I'll open this up and have a look and see what's in there. But you can see that there's a new diaphragm. I mean, this diaphragm quite probably would have still worked, but you know, I'm planning on keeping the bike for a while, so I don't really want any fuel related issues. If it doesn't work, then your fuel will bypass it and fill your carbs and piss out all over the garage floor. So for the sake of whatever it was, about a tenner or something for a seal kit, you're as well just doing it. Now to get this out, it's quite easy. You just kind of push it through the spacer, like so. I'll do it with my other hand so you can actually see what I'm doing. Just push it in the centre here. You can see it's coming through, then you just pull it out from the bottom. The new one goes in the reversal of the above. And before I lose this spring, which I've just told you not to do, then it goes on the floor. See, that's how easy it is to lose it. I was going to say I'll put these bits in the tub. I'll go and find that spring, hopefully, and I'll open up this packet of the repair pack and see what's in there. Hopefully there's another. When you take the diaphragm out, remember which side is which, so that when you put it back the right way. Here's the pack opened. You can see it's got the new little rubber thing, the O-ring. These two bolts are for your petrol tank. It's got a new spring. This is also for the tap. It's the part that was worn that I showed you earlier on the top. That rubber there, so we'll just use it. And obviously the new diaphragm, which is packed so as not to deform. So we'll put that back the way that this one came out. Then what we'll have to do is put the whole jing bang back together. So once you've fitted your new diaphragm, be careful with it because the rubber is extremely thin, and I find the best way to get them through is to pull the corners up like so. All three of them. Can't really do it single-handed, but you get the idea. And then poke that through the hole, and then just grab an edge and just pull it through, feed your way through until you get right all through the hole, okay? And then you'll be ready to put it back in. I've actually put this one back in. Remember to put the spring in behind it. That will also ruin your day if you don't. And then we've got this rubber. This rubber here goes in like so. Oh, I'm going to clean that out first, haven't I? But I'll just show you for the sake of the video. Your rubber O-ring type thing goes in there like so, except it would go in obviously to match the holes. I'm going to just be taking this one out to clean it anyway. And then all you do is you put your O-ring, your new O-ring here on the end of this. Once you've cleaned it also, push it back in, tighten the screws up, and you should have a fully functional vacuum tap. But like I say, I'm going to give this one a quick clean out before I put this stuff back in together. Okay, it's all cleaned out now. You can see the bit around where the rubber seal goes. I've kind of cleaned it up with just an old bit of grey Scotch-Brite to get rid of the bits of corrosion that have formed on the outside of where the seal is. And I've also taken this out. I've kind of cleaned up the area at the top where the sealing surfaces meet. And if there's any crap in that groove, you can take it out with a pick or a small screwdriver. Another good idea when you're putting these back together is to get yourself a bit of Vaseline and put it on the rubbers. It'll just keep them supple, it'll make it easier to go in, okay? And then once you've screwed it all back together, that's you get your fuel tap back in order and ready to fit onto the bike. I'm going to be painting a few bits and pieces in this bike obviously, so this is what I use to degrease stuff before I sand it. I've got the footrest back plates in here just now. This is a glamorous side of bike building they don't show you on these videos on YouTube. Now, that's the sort of grot that you get in it. You need to get rid of all that. It's like oily. It's collected a load of shite along the way. So and you get rid of all the oils and greases off it. So use yourself some of this. I've stuck maybe half a cup full in here, and then put some water in it as well. You don't need much, to be fair. Then get yourself a stiff brush and use a wife's toothbrush, and use it to scrub in about all these little bits. Yeah, to make sure you get everything out before you start sanding it. So I've got some engine mounts here as well. Got these off a mate. They just need a quick clean up, to be fair. So we'll give them a quick clean up and they'll be ready for painting. Well, they'll be ready for sanding, for painting. So once I've got it all cleaned, I'll get on to the sanding. I gave the back brake master cylinder a quick scrub as well. And there's one of the side plates that I've just finished. There's scratches on it and all that, but I mean, by the time I get it sanded and painted, you only see any of that. So also make sure you get in about these bits beside the bolts with the toothbrush, because that's where the grease tends to accumulate, and if you don't and you paint it, your paint will just lift. Alright, so scrub a dub. I'll be back in a bit. They're all washed now with the truck wash stroke heavy duty degreaser. As you can see, you have to make sure you get all the crap out of these parts, you know, all the bits where the grime collects around the edges and whatnot. I did the master cylinders as well while I was at it. Give the bars a quick wipe. You can see the engine casing here. The engine case, it's not an engine casing, it's a bloody engine mount. What am I talking about? But as you can see, it's pretty clean and spotless. That stuff that's on the metal there's not coming off, it's like tarnished in. But that doesn't matter because this bit will be getting masked anyway. The rubber will be getting masked when we spray it. That stuff there on the side as well, that's like, it's not coming off, but it will come off hopefully if I get a scotch pad on it. But we've got 90% of the crap off. This engine mount here, I don't know what happened to the bottom. It looks like it's taken a hit of some sort. Maybe a chain or something came off, I'm not sure. And I've done the back plates. They're two different colours. Somebody's maybe resprayed one at one point. Saying that, it doesn't look resprayed. It looks like it's come out the factory like that. So maybe they're just different years. Doesn't matter. They're getting painted anyway. So that's them all ready for sanding, for paint. The likes of these things, what you want to do to sand them is use a scotch pad. You can use a sandpaper on the flat faces, but there's so many bits and the insides here. You need to get into all these and get them all keyed up, and all these bits here, you know, get them all keyed up as well, and then you can get a good surface for your paint to stick to. I'm not painting the masters, I'm just not leaving gold. They're off a 9160 Ducati. I've had them in my loft for about 15 years. Same with the bars, don't even know where I got them. I've got another set of bars, another couple of sets of bars if I need them. So that's the prep for sanding, okay. Further on we'll get into more painting, but I'll do all these little bits that are all going the same colour. I'll do as many of them as I can at one point to save me like cleaning out the spray gun dozens of times to paint a couple of bits, you know. I'll wait until I've got all the bits together and then just hit the whole lot of them in a winner. If your hangers look like this, you'll never get it back by polishing. You have to take the lacquer off, because all those little black bits are actually underneath the lacquer. They're corroding from underneath. The only way to sort it out is to get yourself some 240 for a start. 240 grit, 3M of course, and sand it all out. You can use an electric sander if you like. I'm doing it by hand because I'm just demonstrating a little bit. And then once you get it down with 240, sand it again with 400, and if you want to, you could clear coat it to protect it. It'll probably last, I don't know, 10 years before it starts coming back, but it will come back. It's just the way alloy is, I'm afraid. BMW seem to have some clear coat that lasts a lot better, but I don't know what it is. Can't get a hold of the information, so I'll just give this a sand down with 240 along with all the rest of this stuff. These back plates This one's quite bad, but you can see where bits have been worn off, worn through the lacquer there, you know. But I'll just sand all the rest of this, and then I'll get the Scotch pad to get into all these parts, then I'll paint them. Right, that's that one sanded with a 240. It obviously needs to get some 400 on it. That grey bits you're looking at there are just dust from sanding, honest. Same with that bit's there, it's just sand and dust. So once you've done it to that point, you give it a sand with 400, do all around the edges, and see if you come across any stuff like this in the back. It's corrosion's coming from underneath the paint or the alloy. You need to sand that out. You can see a bit up in the corner there. There's a whole load of it down beside where this bit here, I've sanded it quickly with the 240 just to get rid of the tops of it. But you need to get rid of that. I know it's in the back and you won't see it, but it's there, and it'll just spread, and it'll eventually spread around the corner here and go underneath your alloy, so get rid of it while you can. So once you've sanded all the corroded alloy, the likes of these bits in the middle that have been painted with some coating, you don't need to take that right down to the metal. You can just give that a scuff with your red Scotch Brite pad, which is about 400 grit equivalent of, unless of course it's got any corrosion under it. Sanded out that corrosion under there. That should be good. Once I give it a coat of some epoxy, and the likes of this one, you can see the difference between the two. This top one was polished, this one was just painted, I think, from factory, so I'm just going to scuff that down unless there's any bits of corrosion on it. No, it's just a bit on the surface. And then, like I say, once they're ready, quick coat of epoxy and then a coat of black. So because I'm painting these, I decided to take the casting marks off it as well. You don't have to, but I'm just a bit fussy. So get yourself a flap disc in your grinder and just give it a light tickle. It's cast alloy, you don't need to go digging into it or anything, just basically skim it across the top and you'll get rid of it. Then you'll be left with this sort of finish. You can see it's quite rough. I think it was like an 80 grit disc I used. But what you can do afterwards is just sand it with the 240. You'll get it looking something like that, which is nice and smooth. No sanding, no casting marks left. And once you paint it, it'll look better. Oh wait, there's a casting mark there. So that's the sort of thing you're trying to remove. I'll go back and tickle that with the grinder as well. And then just give it a quick skiff with the 240. Ordered up some of these macarbs. They're for the float bowls, obviously. These are GSXR carbs. And the reason for that is because you get chumps with Phillips screwdrivers who like to fuck up the heads on screws. I don't know why you'd put that in. I mean, there's probably more. I wonder what that one's like. Oh yeah, sweet. Not. Looks like they've had a fucking drill in it. Anyway, they're cheap. Get some M5 by, I think these were 12 or 15 long. M5s with Allen key heads in them. Found the oil cooler for the Bandit. I could spend probably a productive day trying to straighten out all these trashed fins in it. I could probably get a replacement from China for 20 quid. I'll have a think about that and get back to you. Well, as you can see, the frame's arrived. I've just given it a quick wash. It was absolutely filthy. It's not too bad. There is a fair bit of corrosion on it, like. See bits all over the place. I've degreased it with the heavy duty degreaser, but it's not getting everything off. There's a lot of chain lube and cack down the bottom. I did manage to clean up the linkage a fair bit. It was black, but I'll have to get some petrol or something in to get rid of that baked on cack. So yeah, like I say, it's arrived. Boy didn't put in the flipping battery tray like it was shown in the photo, or the frame infills, which was really fucking nice of him. Prick. The only thing I'm not too happy about is this. We have a dent a dent more than a dent, I guess. See it? So I'm going to poly disc all this down once this dries, and I'm going to fill it with weld. I've been looking for second-hand ones of these on eBay, but they're like 50-60 quid. I'm not paying that. I'll just fix it. The cross tube isn't too bad. There's a bit of surface rust in it. But again, I'll get the poly disc on it, see how bad it is. There's nothing rattling about inside it, so that's a bonus. The swinging arm looks like it needs a repaint, but we'll probably use the other one anyway. No side stand either, but that's just the way of these things. I've got this frame here. I'm going to see if I can maybe use the side stand off of this. It's an old GSX 750 frame that I've had lying about for ages. Side stand might be useful if it fits. I did get the seat lock, that's a bonus. I'll maybe transfer that onto the monster seat, but I need to get a pin for the monster seat because it's on a latch and it's like only a couple of year model, so you can't get a bloody catch for it, can you? Sod's law. So that's the frame. It's just started raining, of course, just after I washed the bloody thing. So I'm going to get cracking with this. Once I get it, I'll get the swinging arm off and the linkages off. Then I'll chop off the subframe. I'm doing a completely new subframe. I'm not keeping any of that. I'll obviously keep the bolt-on part for the tank, the back of the tank. I'll keep the seat catch, but the rest of it, I'll maybe use some of the tube for a cross piece for my seat subframe to be welded onto. We'll see how it goes with that. So I'll get cracking with that, and then I'll get back to you. Alrighty.